Hey cycling community, this is Steve Bruce, Cycling Greek. We are at Snelling early in the morning for the Snelling road race. We are handing out flyers for the off the front Omnium. Not too bad, a little cool, not bad, a little foggy, but not bad. So it's going to be a good day. It's getting lighter and we're taking turns doing work, putting my number on, getting my number. The ladies have already gotten their numbers. So they've been passing out flyers, and cars stop a little more readily for them than they do for me for some unknown reason. Got Tom here, got Kevin here from the 55s. We're waiting for Scott. He's on his way, I'm sure.
How you feeling? Good?
Okay, so we're starting to warm up and taking the women's team out to the start of the course so they can experience the wall as part of the promenade. I tell you, it's like herding cats. The 55s are going to the line.
Where there are other fields, you'll probably pass the Cat 5s. They have a motor with them to help them neutralize and get out of your way. You know, have a good time, guys. You're doing 4 laps.
Okay, we're back at the team cars. We had our team meeting with the women. They all did good. Very pleased. They met their goals. Had my team meeting with Kevin. I think Scott and Tom decided to do another lap. I saw them heading back out there, so I'll see them later on. So I'm going to get dressed, get some recoverite in me, and start passing out flyers for the Off the Front Omnium featuring the Budweiser Sequoia Cycling Classic Criterium. Thank you very much. And that is again May 28th to 29th. Well, I made it home. With our race in the 55s, we had a full field, so I was usually toward the front. In fact, I was toward the front the whole race. You would think that that'd be easier, but this was an active group, and that took a lot of work, and so I did that for pretty much all 4 laps. Whenever I found myself toward the back, which was very rare, then I worked myself way up again, and often going in between, up the middle, or I'd drive people's wheels up. And it's rare that I stuck my nose out in the wind. After at lap 1.5, a breakaway of 4 happened, and Tom was on Scott's wheel, so Scott went with the brake, Tom went with him, and so we had 2 OTFs and then 2 other riders in there. After about half a lap, so that's going to be about 5.5, 6 miles or so, Tom came off the breakaway. He was still recovering from being sick, had to come back into the pack and conserve energy. So the breakaway had 3. So they were out for about 1.5 laps. And it took a lot of energy to be in that break. And so their brake started waning a little bit. The breakaway started to slow just a bit. That was enough for the pack to make contact with them. And they made contact with them on or before Blood Alley. So that would have been about 2 laps that they were off. One of the times when we were on Blood Alley, and this is actually second to last time, end of lap 3 on Blood Alley, there was a huge crash, and it was toward the front, and I was toward the front. And all of a sudden you hear stuff, and fortunately they didn't come too deeply into my lane. I still had to swerve to get around. I was able to get around, and then I just hoped that one of the other 3, Kevin, Tom, or Scott, were not involved in that. Because usually what happens after the crash, everyone just starts accelerating. And there was a gap created there, I think, behind me, and eventually those that were stuck behind the crash, a lot of them made it up to us, I believe, judging on what I'd seen after about half a lap. When we came around again, the police were there. They had cut off part of the road because they're still dealing with riders that they couldn't move, and there was an ambulance there, and there was another one coming that we were seeing. So it was at least a 2 ambulance crash. So I hope they heal well, and there's nothing permanent. And the plan was for at least the other 3 to be toward the front when they're on Blood Alley for the last time. And so now we're on the last lap on Blood Alley again, and it's kind of an arrow. Everybody wants to be toward the front now. So I'm on the left side, and I don't have too much more in me because the cramping's there and the race has been wearing for me. But all of a sudden, I see who I think was Kevin to my right, and I'm not looking over like this because everything is everyone's on edge and everything, and there's a lot of jostling going on. So I just look over the side of mine, and so it looks like Kevin has the same color uniform, and I say, okay, let's go. So I take him up to the front, I pull off, and I see it's not Kevin. It's this other guy that kind of looks like Kevin, and it's from Sun Power, the team Sun Power, and they have very similar designed and color uniforms to off the front. So I was like, oh, okay. And Kevin was actually in the back. He had crashed actually a couple times at Sisquoc, and so he was still a little wary and just being real careful. So he was at the back, and but when we all finished, we were all finished in the pack. It was a good race. I was pleased to do all the work that I did, especially with this tough group. Again, the women did real well. They met their goals. They finished with the front group, and kudos to them on that. So at the next race that they're going to have, their goals are going to be a little more enhanced. So, thank you for listening. As always, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.